Hello, YouTube community. This is Tall and Lighter here again. I hope you all are doing well. I know it's been quite some time since I actually did a video in this type of format, meaning, montages and such like that. I kind of had broke away from doing those type of videos because it really does take a lot of work, to get the right pictures and everything like that to illustrate, what you're talking about, as far as your talking points and such. But I wanted to go back to, at least in some cases, depending on the subject matter, I wanted to go back and actually do these type of videos because basically, depending on what information you're trying to portray, this information, as far as pictures, it really gives you the whole story of what's going on, at least in my opinion. I normally use montages or pictures in my videos when I'm actually doing like some sort of educational type of video. And again, I think in this particular situation, I'm going to have to go back to kind of doing that, at least, right now, because again, there's a lot of things that we really need to understand and really need to, in my opinion, talk about in order to kind of come to some sort of understanding. It's been quite a while, actually, since I really did a video on Carmen Caboom, and like I say, it's not because, again, that I'm afraid of her or what her antics are or whatever the case may be, because I'm immune to it. Again, for anybody that knows me, as far as my relationship with her, we've had our back and forth or whatever the case may be. And of course, the threats and everything about the legal system and stuff like that. And like I say, as long as I am within YouTube guidelines, and of course, fair use and intellectual properties, because again, she likes to bring up those things, as a intimidation factor. But again, it doesn't really bother me because again, I know when I post, and I do follow YouTube guidelines. So again, I'm not even worried about that. But I wanted to talk about a recent situation or, that happened, an unfortunate situation, that happened to Miss Carmen Caboom, as far as her family. Again, if you all don't know, she actually just lost a nephew, and again, that is very tragic. Again, I am very sympathetic with that because, again, any type of loss of any type of family member, is a bad thing. It's not something that, that is enjoyable. It's something that, again, that we all go through, with the loss of family members and such, and again, to go and really lose a family member around the holidays, my heart goes out to her and her family, but in her usual style, she actually, goes to the internet to explain the situation. And not only does she explain the situation about the death of her nephew, this opens a door up to a whole lot of things that she wants to talk about with her quote unquote friends in cyberspace. And that's pretty much where I feel that you could be crossing into an area where you may be asking for trouble. Now, to me, honestly, and this is just me talking, anytime you're talking about issues regarding family and everything, first of all, there are things that I would like to consider that are what I would like to say that are sensitive topics, meaning that they're off limits. I don't care what type of subject matter I'm talking about on YouTube. There's just certain things that I just will not talk about because I feel that, the YouTube community just does not need to know, and again, that's okay. We're different people. We all are different. And I get that. And you're right. We are different. But over the past couple of years of actually knowing Carmen and the type of content that she puts out and the type of person that she is, and again, I'm not trying to attack her for how she is or whatever. I'm just laying it plain on the surface. It all boils down to, again, wanting attention. That's pretty much where we are right now. And again, like I say, I'm pretty sure that this video will make it over to her. And like I say, that's fine. I'm not afraid of anything. Again, I'm just telling it just like it is. The way that we have to really get out of this intimidation tactic, and this is just a sidebar, if you're going to go and put your personal business out on the internet for someone to actually view, and hopefully, you want somebody to have an opinion about it. Otherwise, you wouldn't put it out on, the internet for people to watch or have an opinion. So again, this actually came on my timeline. Again, and I'm not afraid to say, it came on my timeline because I would every now and then I would go by and see what Carmen is doing, seeing who she's complaining about, what she's talking about, and this, that, and the other. But again, like I say, it wasn't anywhere like it was once before where, I would actually see or wait for her to have some sort of response to a video that I did. Because again, I took a break from her because, again, it's not because I was afraid of her or anything, but it's just the fact that it's the constant going back and forth. It was like it was a bit much, and I just needed, some mental peace for my sake. Because again, sitting back there trying to talk to someone who really does not have a constant grip or a realistic grasp on reality, it can be a bit much. And if you're not careful, it will actually, again, get you to actually start acting the way that they're acting and going back and forth. And the thing about it is that, I have too much to live for, and I have other things that's going on, but again, I have the right, just like everybody else, to drop in ever so often and make a video about whatever if I choose to. Okay, so that's that on that. But getting back to this part here is that you have to be careful about what you put out there as intimate information. And I thought that we actually had visited and actually that we learned from this, back years ago when she was talking about a situation where she thought that she was going to be involved with someone, who was actually trolling her the whole time. You know what I mean? And like I say, and I guess, with some things, you're destined to repeat something until you learn it. You know what I mean? And the thing about it again is that with her, it's kind of, I don't think that she really understands the gravity of what she's going through or the danger that she actually puts herself in by putting herself in such an intimate spot where it will be easy to go in and actually attack her. And again, this video is not about attacking anyone, but it's just the fact that she is comfortable. She doesn't, I don't think she's actually really aware of, when she puts her personal business out there, that it caused a lot of harm, not only to her, but also to the people that she's actually talking about in her videos. Now, I know she actually talked about in the past that she really did not have a close relationship with her sister. Like I said, and again, I'm not trying to, talk about anyone or anything like this, but I'm only putting out or actually mentioning information that she's already put out there. So, she can't say anything about that because she was the one that divulged the information first. And there are people out there that are listening to what she has to say. But she was saying that, she did not have really a close relationship with her sister. And the fact is that, she claimed that her sister's boyfriend or husband or whoever it is, whatever, was, actually wanting her sexually. And basically, in a recent video, she was going on in detail and actually letting people know, for the most part, his antics and what he would do, and how she would keep, fighting him off and this, that, and the other. And then it turned over to, for the most part, how, she got along with her mom and, her dad and everything of that nature, and again, I don't talk about those type of things again, because those are sensitive topics. There are some things that, again, that I respect, and I would not actually, again, talk about that because, again, I wouldn't want anyone to do that to me as far as my mom and dad. That's why in my videos, I really maybe mention them and, briefly, and then move on to something else, but again, because again, my thing about it is that if I don't want anybody to know about anything or to talk about anything sensitive regarding me or my family, I simply don't even bring it up in videos. When you're talking about family in your videos, you have to make sure that, unless it's your goal to actually cause confusion and backlash, you want to be strategic about what you talk about. And again, in this situation here, all of her family, she's willfully, telling folks all of her family secrets, and again, all of these situations and everything like that. And again, yes, she has the right to do that if she wants to. I'm 100% with her on that. But again, you cannot actually, again, in the same breath, complain that people are talking and gossiping about you and yours when you willfully gave them something to talk about. I never understood that about her, and again, to this day, it boggles my mind, and she's not the only one of, who does things like this. There are a lot of people who use the internet, as a way of, I guess, as a therapeutic way of actually getting over problems and such. And again, it depending upon the angle, it really depends upon the situation at hand. But the last thing that I would actually want to do is to use the internet as a device to air my concerns or to air my grievances. If there's someone that I really want to talk to or whatever the case may be, or, or a situation that I really need some sort of relief from, I'm going to find someone, number one, who is off the internet that I know personally, that can help me through this thing. I believe that, again, that God puts people in our lives, at certain stages in our life to help us along the way on where we need to go. That's just the way that's just what I believe personally. Now, again, there's nobody that's perfect. OK, that's number one. And if we are going through something, something is bothering us. And again, that's life. It is what it is. I'm going to go to someone that God has given me or that has placed in my path that, first of all, that is not all that big on social media. OK, and the thing about it is that they're not involved in so much gossip, because, again, you have to really protect your peace. And I've talked about that also in other videos, and the thing about it is that, again, is that, you want to go to someone who actually, that you've known for a while and that, for the most part, that has your best interest at heart. See, smart people do things like that. People who want attention, who are or otherwise are not very wise in a sense, go and blout and just tell everybody all of their personal business. Now, I don't know if this is for the purpose of her growing her YouTube channel. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But if that's the case, that is poor strategy. Again, it may get people to come in there to look at what's going on and to see the drama, because, again, let's be real. That's pretty much why the people actually, again, congregate to her videos, is because, again, they can always count on something going wrong, something being dramatic. That's what she does. That's who she is. But, I mean, it's not very good for, you personally, as far as maintaining peace. And the thing, and I sit and I just really look at her, and just kind of just study and try to figure out why she is the person that she is. And again, I'm not judging nobody, because, again, I don't have the right to judge. Again, you know what I mean? I don't have that right. But I do have the right to sit and listen to some of her videos that she put out and come up with my own observations based on what she's saying in her videos. And again, for the most part, I got a whole lot of answers to a whole lot of questions that I actually had about her. Why she is the way that she is. Why can't she maintain relationships with people? Why can't she, just be in harmony, and just, live life, enjoy life? And I'm understanding now, for the most part, and again, I know the story is still unfolding as I speak, but I'm starting to understand the reason why that is. It's because, again, your environment that you come from really does shape you into the person that you are in most cases. It doesn't have to be that way. That doesn't have to be your fairy tale or your story going forward, but it does dictate a lot about the type of person that she is up until now. And I never understood that. I would speak on it, and I would elaborate sometimes in videos, but I never really understood that, and again, that is something that's worth mentioning. Your past does have some sort of, shape as far as who you were. And it could be, again, a part of the type of person that you are now, but it doesn't have to be that way for your future. And basically, when I'm sitting up here listening to her videos, and again, these videos that she's putting out nowadays, I'm listening with a discerning ear. I always listen to her videos with a discerning ear, but I'm listening more carefully now. Because again, she's divulging a whole lot of information that I feel, and this is just my opinion, that I feel that she really should not do, to the point where she's saying, family members, I guess I don't know how often they look at her videos, but now she's saying that family members now are wanting to bar her from going to her nephew's funeral in Arizona. And like I said, that is very unfortunate. And it's unfortunate that she's having to go through these things, but you have to understand there are repercussions to what you do and say, especially on a platform where you don't know who's listening and who's taking notes. YouTube can be a blessing and a curse depending upon how you want to use it. And it can cause a whole lot of issues if it falls, or I would say if it's used in an unwise way. And the way that she's actually using this platform, it's not very smart right now. Again, it's okay. We go through things in life. Life is going to be lifing, as they say. There's nothing that we can do about it. The only thing we can do is roll with the punches and handle the stress that comes with life the best way that we can. But one thing that we should not do is pick up a camera and just start talking, just because people are going to listen. But the thing about it, again, is that she don't know what the intentions are of those who are going to listen, as far as what they may do in the future. Now, I will say with me, and I can't speak for anybody else, I can only talk about myself. With me, I don't use this to actually downgrade or actually, try to talk bad about anyone. Now, again, people may have their opinions about my videos as far as what I say in regards to her. But again, I know what my intentions are. My intentions are just to give clarity from my point of view, and that's it. And of course, inject a little bit of wisdom and biblical principles, so we can learn. That's what it's all about. It's about learning. And we have to be careful again about, how far we go with that. That's why I'm very careful about the words that I choose, when I'm actually expressing or talking about, or let's say doing a quote unquote reaction to, what I've seen as far as what somebody may have posted previously. But when you open yourself up and you make it so easy for people to attack you. See, that's the thing. You can't complain when you divulge personal issues out there. And the thing about it, again, is that you already know for the most part that, you got people out there who they call that are trolls. Let's be real. That are waiting for you to say something that they know that they can kind of run in the ground for their benefit. Again, I don't consider myself a troll. I don't troll anyone. I listen to what's going on out there in the atmosphere, what's popping on YouTube or whatever. And the thing about it is that if it's something that I feel that someone can learn from, I'm going to go ahead and post a reaction about it. And I'm going to illustrate the reasons why someone can learn from what somebody else is doing. And there's a lot of lessons to be learned as far as what she is doing now, as far as what we should not do. The issue is that when you find someone who cannot control their emotions and the first thing they do is they go run to cyberspace to divulge information about what they're going through, this, that, and the other, you can see that they don't have any stability. There is no control. And the last thing that you want to do is actually have any type of relationship whatsoever. I don't care what type of relationship, friendship or whatever. You don't want to have those type of people in your life because, number one, if we have a falling out or get angry at each other, how do I not know that you're going to pick up a camera and divulge our whole intimate conversation and try to put me down and try to throw me in the garbage can? There's no way that I can't trust that you won't do that because you're doing it now to your family. And all of this, again, came out about, this issues with her family as a result of her nephew, his unfortunate passing. So now what she's doing is she's going down one by one, for the most part, person by person, getting her personal opinions about what she feels about them. And now she's surprised that no one really in her family, for the most part, doesn't want to have anything to do with her. I can't blame them for that. Again, I have family members also that, that I'm not all that close to. But the thing about it, again, is that I'm not going to go up there and trash them on a social media website and air out all of their dirty laundry as if I'm squeaky clean. I'm not going to do that. And again, I won't be surprised as well if they shut me out of their life and don't want to have anything to do with me. Because again, I'm pretty sure they have access to YouTube. They have the internet. They can go on there and see what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So it's an all-around bad situation and again, a lot of this, again, she's placed herself in there. The issue is the Bible tells us, it gives us a clear message about that tongue. It does. It talks to us and it tells us about the dangers and how the tongue, it can't be tamed. No one can tame it. The Bible tells us this. But when you use it in an unskillful way, it brings about problems. A lot of our problems, and I should say a lot of her problems, could be alleviated if she would learn just to keep her mouth off of certain things, certain people. But she's the type of person that just loves drama, and she has to have that type of engagement and that type of energy in her life that I don't think that she would know how to function really if everything was going okay in her life. She would have to find something to complain about somewhere. She won't be happy truly until that particular issue comes up or something comes up. Then that'll be the subject of another video. Like I said, it's been a while again since, I've done a video on her, and again, like I say, this is not anything, again, to attack, but again, it's just to bring, awareness to. It's okay, again, and I'm not trying to tell somebody how to run their YouTube channel. I mean, let's be real. I'm not that type of way, and I would never be that way because I wouldn't want anybody to come here and tell me what I can and can't talk about. Because I'll be the first to say, this is my channel. I'll talk about what I want to talk about. If you don't like it, then you know where you can go. And I'm pretty sure that would be her response. And she has the right to say that. But the fact is that you just have to be careful about the information that you put out there. Because again, people, don't care about people anymore. The love is not there anymore. The care is not there. The compassion is not there anymore. And again, at any time a person can have a chance to actually go in and actually deliver an insult and keep it moving, unfortunately, they're going to do that. And for someone who is very sensitive, and let's be real, she is sensitive in most cases to certain things, I wouldn't even put that bullseye on myself. I would not even welcome that type of attention. But again, like I say, with some people, they have to learn as they go. As they say, they don't believe that lard is greasy. That's what we say in the South, But sometimes, you have to let people, again, experience some things on their own. But like I say, it's interesting to see how far and how much more information she is going to trash or put out there as far as intimate details about her family in this whole situation as it relates to her, nephew's unfortunate passing. But that's pretty much all that I actually have for now. Again, I'll talk with you guys soon.